welcome everybody. I'm Meg Smith. I'm the creator and director of Poe in Lowell. This is our, thank you very much. And I want to tell you a little bit about that. First of all, we're so blessed and happy to have you join us this evening, along with the amazing Poe and Lowell volunteers and the staff and volunteers here of the historic Whistler House Museum of Art, celebrating 200 years of joyful ghosts in Lowell. You'll hear a little bit about that in a minute. Yes. That is no small thing, as we know, because we live in a time where we really have to treasure and cherish our history. So just a few practical things for the moment. The exits are here and here. If we should have to leave for any reason or the spirits become annoyed, we'll probably just annoy them back. But in any case, there they are. And the restrooms are also out in that gallery as well, and the refreshments, which I think y'all found, and the raffle tickets. And the mistress of the raffle, Angie, is here this evening, so she's here. So Poe in Lowell has its origins in one October night, 30 years ago, when I was in a cradle, right? It was a prodigy. I had the first Edgar Allan Poe event that I ever hosted here in Lowell at a place called the Don Juan. So in a way, Poe in Lowell turns 30 this year. This is the second annual full festival that we've had, and I'm just amazed and thrilled by all of the support, including from you all. So tonight, I'm going to start with reading the poem A Dream Within a Dream by Edgar Allan Poe. And we celebrate him here in Lowell because he actually visited here 3 times in his life. And in fact, after he died, his mother-in-law was invited by one of his friends here in Lowell to come stay, and she did for a time. So we have many spirits that haunt and bless our city. And this is his poem, A Dream Within a Dream. Take this kiss upon the brow, and in parting from you now, thus much let me avow, you are not wrong, who deem my days have been a dream. Yet if hope has flown away, in a night or in a day, in a vision or in none, is it therefore less gone? All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. I stand amid the roar of a surf-tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of golden sand. How few, and yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep, while I weep. Oh God, can I not grasp them with a tighter clasp? Oh God, can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Is all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream? Thank you so much. And now it's my pleasure to invite Sarah Bogosian. She's the director here at the Whistler House Museum of Art, and I would really love for her to share a few thoughts about this wonderful place and its 2 centuries of beauty here in Lowell. Thank you so much, Sarah.
I don't usually use the microphone, so I won't use it this evening, but welcome, welcome. We're thrilled to have you here. We're thrilled to be a partner in this wonderful event tonight. You know, Megan had come to me, and I met her a couple of times, and we had an event here where we got to chatting, and I thought it was a great idea for us to partner with her, and I said, please, use the museum, use the Parker Gallery. We're thrilled to partner with you, especially when it comes to poetry and any other form of arts here in the city of Lowell. We like to be promoters of what all goes on here in our community. We turned 200 this year. We just had our huge celebration on September 5th, And it was a wonderful event celebrating the historic Whistler House Museum of Art. Since I've come on board, we've gone from 7 rooms to 14 rooms, so I want you to come back another time to please visit and take a tour. We have wonderful docents. We have some of the folks here with us tonight who help us give tours and promote the museum and all that is James McNeil Whistler, who was born in the house. We're also the house that was built for the innovators of the Industrial Revolution here in America. So we're a pretty special place, world known actually, and we welcome all of you to come back, become members. We have a lot of our exhibitions and events that are open to the public, free of charge. Right now we have this exhibition up out of the vault. We have a collection of 19th and 20th century New England representational art throughout the house, and this is just an extension of our collection that we pulled out of the vault. And out in the back room, in the members' room, is celebrating our 200th anniversary with our artist members. We are the Lowell Art Association, the oldest in the country, and so we're very, very proud of that. And those are artist members of our organization, and we asked them to do anything they could come up with regarding James McNeil Whistler, the Whistler House, Whistler's mother, the Whistler Park. So that's what you see out in the members' room. But once again, please come back for a tour. We'd love to have you. And come and ask for me, and you can be my guest that day, okay? And then if you'd like to become members, we have brochures out in the foyer here. We did lock the house up, so if you have anything that you need out of the house that you might have put in the closet, just come and get me. We've got the 2 bathrooms out here, and I think that's it. So welcome, and enjoy the evening.
And truly, even if you've only seen a little bit of the house, it's a truly beautiful and magical place. And it is, for me, a place of some very magical memories of some very wonderful and special people in my life. This year in Poe and Lowell, we're also awarding the Spirit Award to different folks who have either contributed greatly to making Poe and Lowell a reality, have invested in their communities in many different ways, and bless their communities with their creative and compassionate spirit. Some of those people that we're honoring this evening are themselves now part of the spirit world, but their legacy continues. And so before we get to the poetry and music portion, I would like to take just a moment to honor them. So Suzanne de la Donier, she was my roommate for 2 years in Lowell. She was one of the people who actually helped me to get to know the city in many ways when I was just starting out producing events here. One of the things that she did was she ran an after-school program for young people who came from many challenging backgrounds, but were kind, smart, and wanted to know more about the world of which they are a part. One of those events was a tea party that happened here at the Whistler House. She blessed this community in ways that are almost innumerable in environment. She was passionate about the environment. She was passionate about young people. There are many young people in the city who will tell you she literally changed their lives and helped them get onto an amazing path. Sadly, she passed away after a very brave battle with ALS, but it's my pleasure to present the Spirit Award to Suzanne de la Donier, and it's also my honor to present it to her husband, Joe Tremblay, who's here this evening.
Oh.
And thank you so much, Joe, for taking the time to be with us this evening. And I tell people who knew Suzanne or maybe got to know her later, even after she passed, so you could be more like her, you could do no better, as an example of how to live a rich and full and caring and powerful life. Another person who I would like to honor, who again has gone on, was a very dear friend of mine. I'm a member of the Middle Eastern dance community, and she was one of my Middle Eastern dancer friends who lived here in Lowell. We many times got on the same bill at the Athenian Corner by design, and she was an amazing dancer and a very kind person. She is not the person you would see perhaps heading a parade, but she had a great power about her. One of her passions was rescuing homeless cats or animals in need of love. Her name was Marianne Wisniewski, and her dance name was Ambrosia. And although another friend of hers who was going to come but had an emergency is not here, I would still like to present and acknowledge her through this certificate. And Marianne, we love you and thank you for all that you left us. And I know that your dancing spirit will continue to shine in the heavens. Thank you. So these two folks, again, are not able to be here, but I still want to recognize and award them publicly with the Poe and Lowell Spirit Award. Many of you have commented how you like the postcards and the flyers that you see around. There's a gentleman who's extraordinarily talented and has also been a dear friend and a coworker of mine. And again, he's in his workshop right now at this moment up in the wilds of New Hampshire. And if you ever have a chance, look at, he has many books as well. He's an historian, an artist, and a pretty good chef too, for an Englishman. And he knows. He would take that in good cheer, especially from me, his Irish friend. But his name is Eric Stanway, and Eric, we love you, and we appreciate you, and every time we see the artwork by Eric Stanway, you will definitely know it, and I hope it makes you smile. So that's for you, Eric. And lastly, this other friend of mine who, it's amazing, I learned of her name like 3 decades before I actually met her. She was, back in the early 1970s, a music director at a rock station in Cleveland, WMMS. Into her hands passed a record from a promoter friend of hers in Canada. And it was this kind of cute little bar band that no one had really heard of, and he said, look, it would really help if these guys got some play, south of the border. So she said, sure. That cute little bar band turned out to be one of the greatest and most successful rock bands in history. Their name is Rush. They are on a reunion tour. I got to meet her and get to know her when she was in a documentary about them. But what really impressed me is what a great friend she is, and she's a pioneer for women in broadcast media. There are still not a whole lot of women, certainly in commercial radio and in rock, but she was truly one of the very first, and no, she made that way easier for me as well. And she's become a very dear friend of mine, and again, she's home taking care of her family. But Donna Halper, we love you, and we thank you for all you do, and you're most deserving of the Spirit Award from Poe and Lowell. I really appreciate all of you guys acknowledging these wonderful people. And now with that, I would like to bring up our guest featured poet. She has won this year's because of her awards from Lowell's Women History Week. She's very widely published. She has an incredible following in the online world, including on Instagram. And she truly believes that poetry can be a way to not only inspire people with creative fire, but give them power in their own lives. And I can think of no better way for poetry to shine. So please warmly welcome my friend, Latina Bohemian.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, hi, how are you? So hi, I am Latina Bohemian, and Lowell is actually my hometown, so I'm very happy to be here. And I want to start off with thanking Meg for this great opportunity to read my poetry as a BIPOC poet, and also from Lowell and being a part of this historic event today. So I want to start off, before I do my musical poem, I want to start off with a selection of poems and also one of Edgar Allan Poe as well. So the first poem that I'm going to be doing is called My Face is Red. It was a hollow day. The atmosphere felt intense. Bones could break from such pain. In a remorseful space filled with anguish, teardrops are thick like blood. Fighting through neglect is tough. The face is red from a decade full of trauma. Goodbye, grief. The door to the sacred home is forbidden, where unhappiness often intruded. No more stagnant nights, affliction ended. Goodbye, discomfort and headaches, frowning left the physique. Dejection ceased. Navigating through stillness. Being still seems unreal. When sounds of restlessness echo, are trapped within four walls. Anxiety kills in quiet volume. Silence is irritated. It was overwhelmed. People feel vulnerable. Fear has been invasive. Meeting Euphoria Part 2. So this poem was actually featured in Poetry Town, which Meg is the one who runs it for Worcester Magazine. I'm admiring the glorious sun. My human self is no longer at war. I'm enjoying this sweet transition. Eternal sleep is the ultimate paradise. Why go back to earth when heaven is my true home? This next one is called You Can't Buy Courage. A brave orphan at a tender age wears torn shoes and decides to run away. While traveling, she meets an unfamiliar man who has burdens up to his neck. His abandoned home was covered with mold, rats danced in the kitchen and halls. She accompanied him from decomposing alone. And then this one is the Edgar Allan Poe poem, which is Silence, which I felt like really, it went well and complemented all the other poems that I just read. There are some qualities, some incorporate things that have a double life, which thus is made, a type of that twin entity which springs. From matter and light, invents in solid and shade, there is a twofold silence, sea and shore, body and soul. One dwells in lonely places, newly with grass o'ergrown, some soul and graces, some human memories and tearful lore. Render him terrorless, his name's no more. He is the corporate silence, dread him not. No power hath he of evil in himself, but should some urgent fate ultimately lot, bring thee to meet his shadow nameless elf that haunted the lone regions, where hath trod no foot of man, commend thyself to God. So now I'm going to be singing my musical poem. Can you help me with this?
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll bring it a little lower.
Just a little bit lower.
Sure.
Yep, that's good.
All right.
Yep. So this is a musical poem. So it's a poem that got adapted to a musical composition, and it's called Healing Poetry. And it was produced by a Japan composer. He's an assistant professor at Berklee College of Music. This is actually 10 years that we've been working together. So before the poetry and creative writing, I actually did music production, and he's someone that really has been a part of my creative journey along with Meg. So I want to give a shout out to her and him and other creatives as well who have been significant throughout my journey. So this song is called Healing Poetry. Body's curves defined, white lust no longer a crime. Avenged role formally glorified. Passion goes on strike, what an insensitive crime. The view looks like frozen paradise. This deep poem will relieve pure tension on my skin. Loneliness wants to be released. Healing poetry. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Latina Bohemian. And you can find out more about her and her poetry and everything that she's up to creatively. She's on Instagram, so check her out there at Latina Bohemian. And I really appreciate the shout out. Believe it or not, even though we both live here in Lowell, the way that we met was because of Worcester. Because I am the editor, the content editor, she said, Worcester Magazine, and she sent some poems in, and then it was like we realized, hey, we both live here too. So, but I think even if we live miles apart, I would be proud to call her a kindred spirit and sister in poetry. So thank you again so much, Latina Bohemian. By the way, I want to give a shout out to some of the folks who are making this whole event truly possible and making everything run smoothly. It's important to me, and I think to everyone here. We're gathered in a museum, which I think says a lot about how we cherish the past to help us mold the present and the future. And part of that means that we live in an age where we can chronicle events through videography. So I wanted to give a shout out to someone who's been a friend of mine for a very long time and also is helping us by documenting these events, recording them. Steve, we love you and appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, and now, it occurs to me, anytime that I MC any event, I begin to realize how many people in the room are friends of mine and the different journeys that we've been on together for so long, and that is both humbling and uplifting. And it's my pleasure to introduce one of these folks now. By the way, he's also a dual role. He's not dueling. We could have a duel. Maybe in another festival. We'll sort of plan for that. But tonight we'll just stick to the poetry and music and so forth. But we've been friends also for quite a long time. We found that we shared a lot, our love of music, our love of the city of Lowell and its people, and what we can do just as citizens of Lowell to be good citizens to everyone. We share a lot in terms of our passion for our Irish heritage and for poetry. And he's truly, when I say this, one of the truly beautiful souls that I've met. And he is also someone who touches and empowers everyone in his world, whether it's a musician, poet, or working as a pediatric nurse, or managing the sound for us tonight. So I'm very pleased to welcome my friend and my brother, Eddy Dyer. You've got to live up to that now.
I know.
So Bohemia Latina.
Good evening, friends.
Good evening.
So October of 2025 has been a banner month for me because towards the beginning of the month, I got to perform at Lowell Celebrates Kerouac for the first time. And now to be returning here to Poe and Lowell is really special. So let's give it up for Meg.
Yeah!
And please give it up for that absolutely awesome, beautiful, moving set by Latina. Check 2. Oh my God, who's doing sound for this? I thought this first piece would fit in thematically. About 10 years ago, I read about a clown graveyard in Chicago. And after ascertaining that Tom Waits hadn't written a song about it, and having wanted to write a disaster ballad, I wrote this song. So it's pretty self-explanatory, so that's just about, but what was nice was it's in Chicago, and I got to go to Chicago a few years back for Riot Fest, it's a punk rock festival. The Cure was playing, Mars Volta, Ani DeFranco, all these great people. And I ran into my friend Susan Castan, whose husband is currently the guitar player of The Cure, Reeves Gabrels. And anyway, long story short, I said, hey, tell the guys I'm going to be singing in a clown graveyard tomorrow. They're more than welcome to join me. And, you know, she was like, okay, thank you. and then I realized, oh, it's The Cure. So I was probably like the fifth or sixth person that day to invite them to sing in a clown graveyard. So this was written at a place called Showman's Rest, and it largely houses the victims of a horrific circus train crash that took place in 1918 with the Hagenbeck Wallace Circus. And it's encircled by these 4 elephant statues with their trunks down. You know, in the old circus posters, the trunks are always up, facing up, right? Well, and it was just very poignant. But anyway, this song is called By the Stone Elephants. Once a year in Woodlawn Cemetery, when autumn in bright green is dressed, clowns from the world over gather in a place that they call Showman's Rest. It was June 22, 1918, 4 a.m., the whole circus asleep. Last of 2 trains full of faces and names, which that dark stretch of railroad still keeps. The mockers read Baldy and Smiley, an unknown female 43. By the stone elephants, lay down a while, your souls from the sawdust ring are free. From Illinois they were headed off to Hammond. From there, moving on toward Monroe. From nowhere, a troop train came screaming down Michigan Central Railroad. One Alonzo K. Sergeant had been sleeping, missed the warnings, the red signals and flares. Desperate, the flagmen all called out in vain that the train had been stopped for repairs. The mockers read Baldy and Smiley, an unknown female 43. By the stone elephants, lay down a while, your souls from the sawdust ring are free. Most were dead inside of 30 seconds in a mass of rushed steel, wood, and wire. Some who'd survived only then burned alive when the kerosene lanterns caught fire. There's Joe Coyle convulsing and crying. His wife and 2 boys crushed to death. In the end, only 2 shows were canceled, but still today passers-by hold their breath. The mockers read Baldy and Smiley, and I'm no female 43. By the stone elephants lay down a while your souls from the sawdust ring are free. The mockers read Baldy and Smiley, and I'm no female 43. By the stone elephants lay down a while your souls from the sawdust ring are free. Thank you. Thank you so much. During Poe's time in Lowell, he became very close with a woman by the name of Virginia Richmond. And she is buried in Lowell Cemetery. And he wrote a poem for her called For Annie. Thank heaven, the crisis, the danger is past, and the lingering illness is over at last. And the fever called living is conquered at last. Sadly, I know I am shorn of my strength, and no muscle I move as I lie at full length. But no matter, I feel I am better at length. And I rest so composedly now in my bed, that any beholder might fancy me dead, might start at beholding me, thinking me dead. The moaning and groaning, the sighing and sobbing, and quieted now with that horrible throbbing at heart. Oh, that horrible, horrible throbbing. The sickness, the nausea, the pitiless pain have ceased with the fever. They've maddened my brain with the fever called living that burned in my brain. Oh, and oh, of all tortures, that torture the worst has abated the terrible torture of thirst, for the naphthaline river of passion accursed. I have drank of a water that quenches all thirst, of a water that flows with a lullaby sound from a spring but a very few feet underground, from a cavern not very far from down underground. And oh, let it never be foolishly said that my room is gloomy and narrow my bed, for man never slept in a different bed, and to sleep you must slumber in such a bed. My tantalized spirit here blandly reposes, forgetting or never regretting its roses, its old agitations of myrtles and roses. For now, while so quietly lying, it fancies a holier odor about it, like pansies, a rosemary odor commingled with pansies, with rue and the beautiful Puritan pansies. And so it lies happily bathing in many a dream of the truth and the beauty of Annie, drowned in a bath of the tresses of Annie. She tenderly kissed me, she fondly caressed. Then I fell gently to sleep on her breast, deeply to sleep from the heaven of her breast. When the light was extinguished, she covered me warm, and she prayed to the angels to keep me from harm. To the queen of the angels to shield me from harm. And I lie so composedly now in my bed, knowing her love that you fancy me dead, and I rest so contentedly now in my bed with her love of my breast, that you fancy me dead, that you shudder to look at me, thinking me dead. But my heart, it is brighter than all of the many stars in the sky, for it sparkles with Annie. It glows with the light of the love of my Annie, with the thought of the light and the eyes of my Annie. Thank you, Edgar Allan Poe. This is something I came up with a few years back about. It's a story concerning a drunken buffoon in Lowell Cemetery at the grave of Virginia Richmond, reading that poem that I just shared with you for Annie. And by doing so, this drunkard upsets the spirit of her husband, who was lying in repose beside her, and things just don't go well from there. This is called For Annie Laid Beneath the Clay. For Annie laid beneath the clay, on such a sad and silent day, a recital thus sought undertook, in the fanciful gloom that is late afternoon from the back of his folly-bound book. The meter, once fitful, now bound like a bell, rang insipid and black, satisfied, with a pitiful end posing just as a friend, with her husband laid off to one side. Her name had been Nancy when first Poe was smitten. One staggering, lost night in Lowell, where smoke rose in tandem with shrieks flung at random from hole after billowing hole. To the sandstone, the sot spoke the stanzas that scandalized, just as they magic did make. And a naphthaline burst met his unending thirst, and the ground over his bones came to quake. From downward a voice, like cold fingers, now sidled up to his left ear, low and cold. These words from my Nancy have sullied my slumber, and the price for my peace is your soul. The sot in his certitude laughed till a warming breath rose up the hairs on his neck, and what her husband said next stopped his heart, and he dropped like the mast of some square rigger's wreck. For Annie laid beneath the clay. Thank you. So, the first recipient of the Poe and Lowell Spirit Award, Suzanne. I worked with Suzanne when I was a teenager. I worked with her at Coalition for a Better Acre, and she was very much a role model of mine. So, if it's all right, I'd like to do a tribute to her. I wasn't planning to do this song tonight, but if it's all right with you. Written by Leonard Cohen. Suzanne takes you down, please, near the river. You can hear the boats go by. You can spend the night beside her, and you know that she's half crazy. That's why you want to be there. And she'll feed you tea and oranges that come all the way from China. Just when you mean to tell her that you have no love to give her, then she gets you on her wavelength, and she lets the river answer that you've always been her lover. And you want to travel with her, and you want to travel blind, and you know she can trust you, 'cause you've touched her perfect body with your mind. And Jesus was a sailor when he walked upon the water. He spent a long time watching from his lonely wooden tower. And when you knew for certain only drowning men could see him, he said, all men will be sailors then, until the sea shall free them. But he himself was broken long before the sky would open. Forsaken, only human, he sank you beneath your wisdom like a stone. You want to travel with her, you want to travel blind, and you know that you can trust her, for she's touched your perfect body with her mind. Now Suzanne takes you down to her place near the river. She's wearing rags and feathers from Salvation Army counters. The sun pours down like honey on Our Lady of the Harbor. And she shows you where to look now among the garbage and the flowers. There are heroes in the seaweed, there are children in the morning. They are leaning out for love. They will lean that way forever, while Suzanne holds the mirror. And you want to travel with her, and you want to travel blind, and you know that she can trust you, for you've touched her perfect body with your mind. For Suzanne. So, this may or may not have happened as a raging debate. But may or may not have happened that at the Washington Tavern, during the last maybe 5 years or so of Poe's life, he was confronted about his beer tab. Washington Tavern in downtown Lowell. So he wrote a small poem to pay off his beer tab, and it was displayed at the Washington Tavern for many years, many years. But now they're saying that it's a hoax, that it was not written by him. But I don't know, but anyway, this is called Lines on Ale. And if Poe didn't write this, well, he definitely didn't write the other parts I'm gonna go into too, so, you know. Secularis visions clamor in the chamber of my brain. Cleanest thoughts, queerest fancies come to life and fade away. What care I how time advances? I dream drinking ale today. I will drain that glass again. Such hilarious visions clamor in the chamber of my brain. Queerest thoughts, queerest fancies come to life and fade away. What care I how time advances? I am drinking ale today. I am drinking ale today. I am drinking ale today. Through the chamber of my brain, insane in the membrane, insane, got no brain, insane in the membrane, insane, got no brain, insane in the membrane, insane, got no brain, insane in the membrane, insane in the membrane, brains for dinner, brains for lunch, brains for breakfast, brains for brunch, brains are all we ever get. Why can't we have some guts? Brains for dinner, brains for lunch, brains for breakfast, brains for brunch. Brains are all we ever get. Why can't we have some guts? Brains are all we ever get inside this filthy place. Brains are all we ever get. Why can't we have a change of pace? Brains for dinner, brains for lunch, brains for breakfast, brains for brunch. Brains are all we ever get. Why can't we have some guts? Why can't we have some guts? Why can't we have some guts? Filled with mingled cream and amber, I will drain my glass again. Such hilarious visions clamor through the chamber of my brain. Queerest thoughts, queerest fancies come to life and fade away. What care I how time advances? I am drinking ale today. I am drinking ale today. Not mind what time advances. I am drinking ale today. Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
Always in time for the. So thank you so much once again, Eddy Dyer.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, sound manager. So when Eddy began to speak about the Lowell Cemetery, what may or may not have happened on a night many a year ago was that I was awakened from my sleep on a very hot summer night, about 2 o'clock of the morning, from one said Eddy Dyer, who said, "So, are you doing anything?" So we then got up and I said, "Well, no, actually, I was sleeping, but yeah, no, we're not doing anything." So we may or may not have gone on a night's journey to Christian Hill, to the Rourke Bridge, to the darkly beautiful Merrimack River, and then on to Lowell Cemetery. So that's one of those legends that may or may not have happened in the course of our friendship. So we're going to take a brief intermission, about 10 or 15 minutes or so. So more chance to get some raffle tickets if you'd like to do that, some refreshments, And then we're going to be back with an amazing and brand new performance piece that is inspired by and includes the Edgar Allan Poe poem, The Haunted Palace. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll be back in just about 15 minutes. So, without any further ado, I would like to introduce a couple of folks who I actually have gotten to know well very recently, but it feels like to me like we've been friends a very long time. One of Edgar Allan Poe's most mysterious poems was The Haunted Palace. That poem is going to be read to you by Gabby Davis, and there will be a performance interpretation by three tremendous ladies, Fiona, Melissa, who's also been actually helping to keep things on track with this event, as well as Gabby, and another dear friend of mine in dance and spirit, Janet Johnson. So would you please welcome Gabby Davis, Janet, Fiona, and Melissa to The Haunted Palace.
State ghastly rapid river. Through the pale door, a hideous throng rush out forever, and laugh, but smile no more. Thank you, everyone.
Sorry, I did my best.
It is at this time I bring back on Meg Smith.
So I was literally 5 seconds ago years old when I saw this production. I knew that they were working on it. I knew it was going to be absolutely magical and exquisite, but not even that prepared me for that. And I would really like to graciously thank Gabby for pulling this together and the 3 wonderful dancers. And I would like each to come up for a little token of gratitude. Melissa. And I want to tell you something about this lady. She has been doing absolute yeoman's work to spread the word about Poe and Lowell, but more than that, for people to understand how much they are loved and valued, and that we all have something strong to bring to our communities. And she has been doing this unceasingly. She's still doing it now, but also being an incredible performer. So this is for you, my dear.
Thank you! There's no place like home. Are we done? Yeah.
You just keep on shining, girl. That's all I ask.
Stop! I'm chosen.
That's right. As all we are. And another fabulous lady who was actually introduced to me by Gabby, who I actually only met in person this night, but I just totally love what she has brought and is bringing to this, and I can't thank you enough. And I'm so glad that we are now friends and kindred spirits, so please, Fiona. And the third lady who is dancing, who I mentioned a while ago, has been a good friend for a long time. And not only that, she's been incredibly supportive of any creative endeavor that I have ever wanted to do. Coming to the performances, the poetry readings, she was part of our goth pageant at last year's Poe and Lowell show. And I know this is going to sound like something that Mary Shelley maybe hallucinated, or that Percy Shelley must have hallucinated, but we literally were caught in a storm on Plum Island, and there was no way out, and we were in the midst of writing a ghost story. So that really happened, and it's still happening, and I love our friendship and everything that we've always done together, and I'm so pleased and privileged that she was here tonight for this amazing performance. Janet C. Johnston. And finally, I just want to share with you the lady who's put this together and also has been acting as a manager for these events, working side by side with Melissa also, because you cannot put a festival of this magnitude together without people who have a lot of strength and mind and heart as well. And I'm pleased to tell you all, this is kind of a reveal for tonight, that we got together and we started to think about all the wonderfully, darkly magical Gothic things that happen here in Lowell. It's just Lowell is a city of communities, we all might know. And we realized that there are a lot of things like Poe and Lowell, and Lowell celebrates Kerouac and the mysterious beauty of this museum, the Whistler House. How amazing is this place, truly? And so we decided to create something to celebrate that and bring people together who enjoy that and a place for their creative spirits to flourish. You'll be hearing more about it soon. It's called Lowell Obscura. And I would like to thank her in ways that I think will be inadequate, but I know she knows how much I love her in my heart, and tremendous gratitude for everything. Please give your hearts and hands to Gabby Davis.
Yeah, love you so much. You're so amazing. You're a beautiful woman. We don't deserve you.
So I just want to thank everybody who bought tickets to support the raffle. The raffle definitely helps to support all the programming in Poe and Lowell, as do the t-shirts out there, and thanks for supporting us through those sales as well, and for being here this evening. I want to again just thank our wonderful host here at the Whistler House Museum. And I want to make sure, and I hope Sarah will help me out, because I want to acknowledge those people individually. Sarah Bogosian, of course, who you heard speaking earlier, she's the executive director. And she has definitely made this place a powerhouse of art and history for the whole community. And also Taylor is here this evening, and she's been doing yeoman's work again. Taylor, we're so grateful for you.
Bob Reynolds, and this is my husband, Boss Bogosian.
And they have all of them been excellent and true gentlemen this evening, and I mean that from my heart. Thank you to everyone here at the Whistler House Museum of Art. Thank you, all of you, coming together for this evening. My thanks to our cameraman, Steve Albert, to our sound manager and featured musician, Eddy Dyer, our featured poet, Latina Bohemian, and of course to Gabby Davis, Melissa Lash, to Fiona and Catherine Johnston for their wonderful performance of A Haunted Palace, to Angie, our mistress of the raffle. And if you like Poe and Lowell and you've enjoyed the evening, please spread the word. And if you want to volunteer and support in other ways, it's never too early or too late. And any community organization that you feel strongly about and passionate about, the arts, the humanities, all of them need our hearts and minds and hands. So thank you so much. I hope that we'll see you around at some of the events tomorrow. The postcards that you saw out there with the QR code bring you to the festival schedule and other resources. Thank you again for sharing this dream within a dream with us, and safety and happiness on your next journey. Thank you again.